everyone, welcome to my stop along this month's A Cherry on Top Design Team Hop. I am going to be working with stamps today. Our hop theme is favorite embellishments, and my favorite embellishments are stamps, sequins, and flowers. And so we're going to use all of those things on my layout today. I'm going to be working with P13's Secret Garden collection. And I pulled a ton of ink colors, but I'm actually not going to use all the ones that I pulled. I wasn't sure how I was going to kind of put this layout together. I am going to start with the stamping. So I'm going to make my own background paper to begin my layout with, and then we'll pull in some of the other embellishments and things. I'm going to be using these two stamp sets from Honeybee Stamps. They are the Wisteria and the Wisteria add-on stamp sets. These stamps have all the layers and they are very intricate. So there's layers for the branches, there's layers for the leaves, there's layers for the flowers. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a way to take a layered stamp set and kind of eliminate some of the layers so that if you love the look of a layered stamp set, but you're not quite sure how to use it without having all those intricate layers, I'm going to show you a couple tips and tricks for how to do that on a scrapbook page. I'm starting with this main image, and I'm starting with a really light colored ink. So I'm starting with Whipped Honey ink from Catherine Pooler, and I am going to overlap the images a little bit, and I'm going to kind of stamp these wisterias all the way across the top of my page using that Whipped Honey ink. I'm alternating between the Wisteria stamp set, which is a larger floral, has the larger wisteria, and then the Wisteria add-on, which has the smaller wisteria. And I'm letting the stamps overlap each other. And what I'm doing is I am creating a background. Once I have all of that border across the top stamped in the Whipped Honey, I'm going to come in with Sweet 16 Catherine Pooler ink. I am stamping the same stamps right over top. So I'm just changing my stamp color, and I'm stamping these images right over the top, all the way across. I set aside my background paper to dry completely, and then I went ahead and I chose the layers I wanted to use to create some standalone embellishments for my page. I'm going to use the same Wisterias and the Wisteria add-on stamp set, but I'm going to fill in and use some of the layers. Now, I chose not to use all of the layers. You totally could, but I wanted to share with you the fact that you don't always have to. When you buy a layered stamp, if you feel like you want to just use a couple layers, you can get a lot of different looks from one stamp set just by eliminating different layers and not using every one of them. So that's what I wanted to share with you today for sure. So I just chose 3 of the layers to add to my stamp. In addition to the main image, each of these stamp sets has 5 additional layered pieces. I chose 3. My reasoning for choosing 3 was that I really just wanted the purple leaves and the layers of purple. I felt like that would be the best way to get the look that I'm going for. I also knew I was going to be fussy cutting a lot of the papers and elements from that P13 Secret Garden collection, and that I was going to be layering green leaves around these stamped images. So I didn't need the extra leaf images or the branch images, because I was going to be mixing, I'm going to be mixing these stamped images with images from the collection. So I just chose 3 purple shades, Sweet 16, Sugared Lavender, and Sangria. And then I am layering up those colors on top of the main image. And instead of stamping the main image with black ink, I chose to stamp the main image with icing on the cake dark brown ink. This gives you that look of the branches without having to try to line up the layers and stamp the branch layer. This particular layering stamp is very detailed and it looks beautiful when you use all of the layers. But I also know that layering stamps take some practice. They really do. And so this is just a nice way to kind of play with those images and get good results. It only takes you moving one of those stamps the tiniest bit for it to be ruined. So I wanted to share with you a way to kind of get these really fun layered images and by eliminating some of those layers. And you can see that our stamped die cut wisterias are still absolutely beautiful. So I'm just getting a feel here. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to stamp and die cut more of the wisterias. I wanted to make sure that I had enough of them. I also off camera went ahead and fussy cut a whole bunch of the flowers from this collection, which includes these kind of watercolored wisteria pieces. And so I want to make sure that I have enough of those fussy cuts. So I'm going to kind of just take a minute and grab those fussy cut pieces and kind of layer them up over top of the stamped ones and see if I need some more. And it turns out that I do. I had needed to go back over and fussy cut 2 or 3 more of those images from the paper pad. I'm going to add just a little bit of sparkle to these stamped pieces just for that added extra bit of detail. As I go ahead and adhere down our stamped wisteria and the fussy cut wisteria, you're going to notice how much additional depth you're going to get because we went ahead and stamped those 2 layers of the wisteria first. So now we have this kind of a background, this look of a very, very full border across the top of our page. And it was easy to do because stamping those stamps with the whipped honey and the Sweet 16 gives it depth, gives it background, but because we're not layering up all the layered stamps, we're getting a little bit of a different look. Everything still looks full and colorful and beautiful without needing to take all of that time to create with all of the layers. So this is a great thing to keep in mind with any of your layered stamps you may have in your stash. Start by taking some different kind of more neutral or single color and creating that background and then adding just some detail over the top with just a few of the stamped pieces that have all of the layered colors included on them. Next, I am just taking some foam tape from my stash. I'm actually trying to stash bust and use up this foam tape. And I am going to pop up the fussy cut wisteria pieces, and they're going to fit in and fill out our border with a little bit more color from the green and the yellow tones in the fussy cut wisterias. They're also going to add a little bit more of a whimsical look to our page. I want to ground my layout and add some border strips along the bottom for my photo. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those from this deep purple and green paper from the paper pad. And I'm also going to map my photo with those same deep purple and green pattern papers. I'm going to layer the purple and green strips of paper across the bottom of my page, and then I can go ahead and add my photo. I cut a journaling card, and then I actually cut another accent card too because I wasn't sure how this was all going to fit together. My picture isn't quite 4x6, and so I wasn't 100% sure if that was all going to fit. And in the end, I don't like that extra card, so I'll just put it off to the side and use it for something else. And I really want some journaling on this layout. I am going to be scrapbooking a heritage photo today. So this photo is actually a color photograph, which is interesting because I don't have a lot of colored photographs that are old like this, but this one is colored and I think it's really cool. So this is a photo of my grandmother and grandfather and their whole entire family. And that little baby down in the front that is in the little like walker is my mother. So this is a little bit of a more recent-ish heritage layout. I say that because if you watch my heritage layouts, you know that a lot of the photos that I have been doing recently have been from the early 1900s. And this is from 1959, so a little bit more recent. I am going to go ahead and add 2 of my little stamped images down to the bottom. This will help my layout to be cohesive. So we have the stamped images at the top. We'll have some stamped images at the bottom. We have some of the fussy cutting florals at the top. We'll have some fussy cut florals at the bottom as well. My photos are always digital reprints. I digitize these photos. I share them with my family. I put the originals in museum quality archival boxes, and then I scrapbook with the reprinted photos. So do not stress, these are not originals at all. I do that because that way I can scrapbook them with whatever products I want. I can scrapbook them however I like. If I want to do mixed media on a layout, I can do mixed media on a layout. It doesn't matter because the originals are in storage and safe. I want to add a title to this page, but I didn't want it to be too big. And I wanted to just kind of keep this page very kind of just calm and subtle. So I went through my stash and I just grabbed these gray tile stickers, and I'm going to use them to create my title. My title is going to be "With My Family," and then the year that this picture was taken, which was 1959. And now I'm going to take all the fussy cut florals that I have from the paper pad. I'm going to create a cluster of florals beside my photo in that kind of open white space there. And then I'm going to add some of the fussy cut florals to both of the wisterias that I have hanging from my journaling spot and from my photo. And that way, again, so that everything is cohesive and the border across the top that I created does not look disjointed from the rest of the layout. To finish my page off, I'm going to grab some sequins from my stash and my very favorite Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I'm going to add lots of little pops of sparkle to this layout. Beautiful pops of purple and green sparkle. I love how this layout turned out. I feel like it's so much prettier in person than it is in the photos because it's absolutely lovely. I love all the additions of the sequins. I love my stamped wisterias, and I am super happy with how this one turned out. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. Let me know what you enjoyed about my video today and what your favorite embellishments are. And then be sure to hop along, comment, and check out everybody else in the design team. They're amazing projects. And one random commenter will win a $15 gift certificate to a Cherry on Top's shop. I will link up all available products in the description box below, and that's also where you can find all the links to the rest of this hop today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.